We wanted to do something for Children's Wisconsin, and my daughter was a patient when she was 7 years old. She's 24 now, so it was a while ago. But I've always been affiliated with the hospital in terms, I'd MC fundraising events. I worked in Milwaukee and MC telethons from Children's Wisconsin down there in Milwaukee. And I always wanted to start something. The three of us all ride bikes, and we got the idea. There are other places that do Santa rides, right? Milwaukee has a huge one. And we thought, let's do that up here, but do it as a fundraiser for Children's. So we started 8 years ago. In the first 7 years, we've raised over $125,000 for the hospital. So we're pretty proud of that, but we're really more proud that we've brought awareness to this great resource that we have here in the state, which is expanding its footprint in Northeast Wisconsin. That's been a big deal. When I started talking to the folks at Children's about putting something together, they told me that their plans were to expand up here in Northeast Wisconsin, and we have now seen, and it's not because of our ride, but it's nice to tell people they're bringing the services that are so desperately needed to the people from where they're from, more so than always having to go to Milwaukee to be treated. So we now have we've had the hospital facility, small one in Neenah, less than 2 years ago. It'll be 2 years in March. They opened that clinic in Appleton, which is Children's. They're opening in conjunction with Bellin Health on Ashland and 172 at Children's and Adolescent Center. So the footprint, again, expanding, bringing the services closer to people who need them, which alleviates a lot of stress on families. Ride 7.5 miles. It's a fun ride. We start here at Badger State Brewing. We ride downtown. We go down Broadway. We're going to cross the Nitschke Bridge on Dousman. We'll go down Washington Street. We'll come back on the Walnut Street Bridge and then back here to Badger State. But it's a fun ride. Most people dress up, Santa suits, elf suits, whatever. We give out costumes or prizes for costumes. But it's really fun to see people react to this when you're on bikes. And when they react to it, they come out of their houses, they take pictures. We have, they're going to be here this morning, but last year they serenaded us on one of the roads we stopped. It was the ukulele group, and they play Christmas carols on ukulele. So people really react to it, and the great thing about that is it just gives us a chance to spread the message about what we're doing, but more importantly, what this resource is, because everybody uses it. It's you can't go very far with people and not find someone who's either had their child there or their neighbor had their child there. It's really remarkable once you stop and talk to people, how many people have been touched by this resource, and that's why we do what we do. So there's a partnership between Children's, ThedaCare, and Bellin. They call it Connected for Kids. They work together. They share resources, they share information, they're starting to share facilities like what they're building here. But the other thing that's going to be new, which is a game changer in my opinion, having gone through it, is children's surgeons will now be able to do procedures up at Bellin Hospital in Green Bay. So think about that. You have families, they treat families from all over, including the UP. Those families no longer will have to go down to Milwaukee to have a procedure done. And the one thing about Children's that they're so good at is there is a patient, right? There is a child who is sick and needs help. But there's a family that is also dealing with this, and they treat the entire family. So if you think about the pressures on a family that has to go all the way down to Milwaukee all the time, what's the trickle-down effect? How does that affect everybody else? Maybe the other sibling can't go to an activity for school, or the time it takes to take off work and all these things. Bringing those services here, particularly surgeries, is going to take a massive amount of pressure off families and patients. So that's a win-win. That's a big deal. So they're going to start with a couple specialties in general surgery. They'll add more specialties up here for surgeons as the year goes along. But those are going to start in January. So that's a big deal.